Good evening and welcome to the Town of Selma Appearance Commission meeting for June 17th, 2024. It is 6 o'clock. We have a quorum, so we are ready to roll today. First thing we need to do is approve our agenda. So if you could please look over the agenda, and I'll need a motion and a second to approve. Motion by Jeanette, second by Florence. All those in favor? Aye. Next thing we need to do is look at our consent agenda, which just includes our approval of minutes from our May 20th, 2024 meeting. So please take a moment, read through those minutes, and we will need a motion to approve those minutes. Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? Aye. All right, first thing on the agenda is the Historic District Evaluation. And Dalton, you're gonna take this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
All right, so there are three total business items in this one item, and I'll go through each of them individually. The first one is the recommendation to the Planning Board and Town Council to remove 110 South Green Street from the West Selma Historic District. This was previously brought to you earlier in the year, and there were significant changes to this property, and the property owner had no idea that it was in the historic district. And staff believes that this did remove or alter the integrity and character of the property. And on the last page of the statement packet, there will be a before and after image of what it looked like when it was purchased and what it looks like now. And there are a list of items that were altered. So this will follow a similar process to a zoning map amendment, which will have to go to planning board for their recommendation to town council, and there'll be a federal ordinance put in place to actually alter the overlay district. So we're just looking for your recommendation to those advisory and governing boards to alter this overlay district.
So you're talking about just about 110, or you're talking about the map itself?
110 is just
110,
removing that one property, and on the second page after the action agenda item, there is a blacked out box of where this property sits in that district, so it kind of gives you an idea. And it is continuous to the land outside of the district, so there wouldn't be like one spot as of right now that would be in the district. Following items in the separate folder is a drafted amended map for the entire district for West Selma. There are red circles where staff would like a little more clarity on exactly what you guys would like included in the West Selma Historic District. And we don't anticipate a vote on this item for you guys, really just to take it back and kind of get your notes back to us so we can put something more formal for you together. And same thing for the staff level approvals. If you guys just want to take this home and kind of get us some feedback back, we can put something together for you guys to make a formal recommendation. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
How is it that a property owner is notified that they are in a historic district?
I believe, we might have talked about this previously, it should be in the closing paperwork whenever they purchase the property, but I know myself and staff, our community engagement coordinator and PIO, were kind of putting together this welcome package for new businesses and property owners that highlights the details of the historic district. But that is a trend that we've noticed, that not many people in the districts are aware of these extra requirements.
But it should be in the closing paperwork.
And I'm not sure, Megan, you might be able to chime in on this, but it should be in the closing paperwork somewhere. I'm just not as familiar with that process.
It's likely in the title search to the home change around to receive title insurance, but it's not something, depending on, a lot of times attorneys who represent the buyer and the seller facilitate the closing. And so depending on the attorney, they may or may not know that information. So it might be something that's there, they get the CD, they get the packet, but, unless you know what you're looking for, chances are they don't know.
Okay.
Is there any talk or communication about future communication for future residents to just be educated on what does it mean to be in a historical district? What are the parameters? What kinds of things you need to consider? Do we have any talk about that?
Like I said, me and Nikki Wall, our engagement coordinator, we've been kind of working on that welcome packet that we'd send out to all of our residences, and our new planning specialist, Micah, he actually recommended a flyer be sent to each individual property owner, just highlighting the historic district information.
But nothing before now, pretty much.
Nothing that we've seen. So we're trying to kind of correct that behavior and kind of get people involved and know what historic districts that they reside in.
And is there any consequence for those that are in the historic district that do make modifications that are improper?
There is a failure to obtain a COA fine on our fee schedule. I believe that's $300, but that's the only repercussion that I'm aware of for failure to obtain the right certifications.
Is there a agenda for them to have to keep up their property?
I know there are, I believe this is Secretary of State standards that the historic preservation committees in all jurisdictions have to abide by. But I don't think there's any other items that are necessarily warranted for that. Just to reiterate, anything that is in the historic districts that we take out would not alter the federal district or the historic integrity that they're in. They would retain all of that. And they'd still go through all the permitting process for planning and zoning. It would just be, if they are removed from the COA or from the historic district, they would have to go through the COA process.
But then if someone just went, took it back to historic, range, like what historic, when it was bought historically, it
Yeah.
can go back on.
Yes, ma'am. Like for instance, for 110 South Green Street, what they would have to do is they would have to, all the changes that they've made, they'd have to revert back to its initial state to the best of their ability. They'd have to revert it back to, this Hardywood siding. They'd have to put their 2 chimneys back. All of their windows have been replaced. Their front door would have to be put back. It would have to be essentially back in its original state.
That will
It would require a substantial amount of work.
Sure.
It is possible, but this could create a hardship.
Yeah, there's brick there now.
What would be any disadvantages to allowing this property to be removed from the historical district?
Any disadvantages?
Or cons?
If they were, I'm sure there would be, I don't know if rebates are the right word, but I know there are certain things with maybe their taxes.
Just tax.
There's a couple different incentives that they can get for being
Sure.
considered part of the historic district. I
But
don't have, like,
nothing
an
for the,
itemized
no
list.
disadvantages for the town of Selma or anything like that?
Not to my knowledge. Getting really into the weeds of it, there would be less permitting fees for modifications to those sites in the historic district, but it's not, I wouldn't consider that a substantial con.
You'd also know to do research when you buy your house
It does.
by the age. You know, if it built in the 1800s, you got a good guess that it is historic.
That is correct.
No further questions from me?
So is he good? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion? As far as removing 110 South Green Street from the historic district?
By removing it, they don't have to stick with any standard. They can do just about what they want.
Yes. Any other discussion about?
The biggest thing from, I feel from our standpoint is there's no negative connotation or no disadvantage or no penalties or anything that would impact what we have built here with our city. So I think I'm good to go.
right, do I have a motion to approve recommendation to the planning board and to town council for removal of 110 South Green Street from the town of Selma West Historic District?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette and a second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
As Dalton was talking about the rest of this pack, this is something we will hopefully look at voting on in our next meeting, because I think we all just need some time to look at it, go around and look through the maps and that sort of thing. But this first map is a reflection of our conversation, when we took our field trip at the last meeting. So just looking over this and really fine tuning it so we can have a deep conversation about this in July. And then the second one is the proposed staff level approvals that we talked about. We were discussing, like, if somebody's replacing their windows and they're replacing the exact same windows with the windows that they're taking out. So just different things like that. So looking over this, any feedback on this, but we will do a deep dive discussion into the staff level approvals as well as the map for the redrawn lines for the West Historic District in July. Okay. Any questions about these two? Just preliminary.
Did want to ask a question about this. The circle that you, on this map, is the districts. Top one is for,
Are you talking about this one right here?
yes,
Wait, I think I'm upside down. for me, I'm sorry.
If you're looking at this map, there should be a blue star, and that is the top of the page. So just to kind of be able to
There we go.
read everything, the two red circles, I might have mentioned this, but just to reiterate, those are items that we'd like clarity on for exactly what you guys would like to see in or outside of the district. And for the record, none of these changes, even the motion to recommend the previous for 110 South Green, none of that is taking effect today. It's, again, just a recommendation for the process to start.
To remove them.
Correct.
It will go to the planning board.
Just like a rezoning or an annexation, have to go through those proper channels.
Did that answer your question, Ms. Lacy?
She didn't.
I still didn't understand what he was saying.
Are you talking about this red portion down here? What is that?
It's two circles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So. And you wanted to.
Are these historic districts?
Yes,
Yes.
everything with that red outline on the map is part of the historic district now. The
Okay.
blue line is the drafted new line for the West Selma Historic District.
Okay,
And the
I
red
just,
circles are just clarity items.
thank you, I just didn't hear you talking so soft.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions about staff level approvals, maps? All right, next time. Okay, next, we have a request for a certificate of appropriateness for 106 South Massey Street. Is there anybody here to represent 106 South Massey Street? Welcome. Do I have a motion to open the quasi judicial hearing for 106 South Massey Street?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lacy, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Megan will need to swear everybody in, and then we'll jump into reports.
So 106 South Massey. I believe when we spoke last month, this is for a storage shed in their backyard. On my sheet here. It's a 12 by 24 storage shed. And I believe the issue we had was the roof material. You guys wanted it to sort of match the existing house, which I believe was shingles. And they were able to go and get that adjusted to where it should be black shingles, just like what's on the house currently. But that's the latest update, and they have some papers that are not in your agenda. If you guys want to share what you have, go.
Another change we made so far is we're reducing the size of the shed. It's now going to be 10 by 16 instead of It's gonna match the current home, which is color tan. Which is gonna have 2 windows and a door. I have an image here of what somewhat's gonna look like. It's not completely finished, but we are removing the windows on top of the roof. It's just gonna be the 2 windows on the front with the door. And vinyl as requested and black shingles.
And is it going, like, if you're standing on the street, is it going behind your house or is it going to the right, to the, like, where is it sitting on your property?
It's gonna be sitting by the parking lot on the right. Yep. It's right there. I guess the picture's not up to date, but there's a fence in there, and it's gonna be in the corner,
To the back corner of your property?
front corner. Not where the tree's at, more of where I guess closest to the vehicles.
So somebody would be able to see it from the road?
Not necessarily. Like I said, there's a fence
Okay.
in there, so that screen is not up to date. But there is a fence.
Is it like a 6-foot fence, 8-foot fence? So we would still see the,
With the roof, you might be able to see the roof.
sure.
I think 6 foot's the limit anyway.
Would you mind, can we have that picture that you brought with you?
So the building goes up 10 foot, so we would still see.
Thank you, sir.
You're gonna build it from the ground up?
No, it's we're buying it already built, but we are allowed to request any changes we want.
You said you guys are removing that top window?
Correct. Yeah, it's gonna be a regular.
And I apologize, will you state your name and address for the record?
Yeah, my name is Walter Lemus.
Thank you, and your address is?
It's 106 South Massey Street.
Perfect, thank you so much. Any other questions for Mr. Nislis? Thank you all so much. Anybody else here that would like to speak on 106 South Massey Street?
Good evening. I'm Cheryl.
I'm just Ms. Oliver need to be sworn in.
Just gonna make one comment, just really a question. Cheryl Oliver, 102 South Massey Street. In some of the documentation I've read, supporting documentation, there was a question about whether the setbacks are being followed. I just wanted to be sure that was fully addressed. And I don't know if that comes after this meeting, but I didn't want to let that part go by.
Process now, for setbacks. Stay, obviously, the total setbacks are. They get approved from plan for, and they finish, they'll contact plan for, that's a good time to verify the setbacks are correct, and if they're not, civil, zoning.
Anyone else here to speak for 106 South Massey Street? Do I have a motion to accept the testimony and information presented, as well as close the quasi judicial hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? Aye. All right, discussion. I mean, I think we've been very consistent about making sure that accessory structures match the primary structure on the property.
Yes.
And they have done that. They're, you know, the outside, the roof, everything, so. I think that's good. Do I have a, excuse me, a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 106 South Massey Street?
I second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette and second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right, next we have a request for a certificate of appropriateness for 105 South Rayford Street. Is there anyone here to represent 105 South Rayford Street? All right, I need a motion to open the quasi judicial hearing for the certificate of appropriateness for 105 South Rayford Street.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Lacy, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Take it away. Well, do you need to be sworn in again? Yes, go.
Do it right. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, y'all. Hello again. So staff received an application for a sign permit and a change in use for 105 South Rayford Street. The specific request is to hang a sign on a storefront. It's a 2-foot by 3-foot sign, and you'll see on page 32 a rendering of what that'll look like. That's to scale, relatively, rendering of the sign and the storefront there. It's for a law office coming to town. And, as far as the aggregate square footage, it's not a problem there. As far as zoning is concerned, it'll be a plastic sign. I've learned a lot about signs recently. It's called a high density urethane sign, or HDU. Sometimes they just call it sign foam. It's a fancy plastic sign. They're more durable than metal. They won't rust or rot like wood will. So it'll be this nice plastic sign hung with black metal brackets right down the street. The land use plan talks about wanting to have an active, vibrant, revitalized downtown area. And there's some objectives listed in the staff report that kind of go over, wanting to preserve and commemorate historic structures, encourage building designs that are consistent in their size and scale, and maintain downtown as the center of civic life. So wanted to keep downtown beautiful and make sure that you guys, have some input on that. That's what we look for. But that's all I've got for that. Any questions? I believe specifically it's an immigration law office.
Thank you, sir. Any questions before we go into discussion?
No questions for me.
All right, I need a motion to accept the testimony as presented and close our quasi judicial hearing.
I motion to accept.
I second.
Motion by McCoy, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor? Aye. All right, discussion.
Thickness of that.
Hmm?
The thickness of the.
Do you have the thickness of that plastic sign?
I imagine it's
I think it coordinates well with the next door business sign that's hanging right beside it.
I think this is what it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm. Celeste, you good? You good? Any
Yes.
questions?
I understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 105 South Rayford Street?
Got a motion to approve?
I second.
Motion by McCoy, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor? All right. Next, we have a certificate of appropriateness for 611 West Noble Street. Is there anybody here to represent 611 West Noble Street? Come on up. And I need a motion to open the quasi judicial hearing for the certificate of appropriateness for 611 West Noble Street.
Motion. I second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette, second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
And Ms. Megan will have to swear you in.
So staff received an application, for an accessory storage shed, to go behind the, the Harrison Senior Center for activation. Yes. It was going to be a 8x12 storage shed. I believe, Mrs. Zoe Taylor has some more information on what they're planning on using it for. But obviously, you know, that building is the one directly adjacent to the gym and right next to the alumni building. Me and Ms. Taylor have talked about setbacks. She's well aware that it needs to be, 10 feet from the property lines, to the rear of the building, not encouraging that front plane. And you'll see on page 37 is a sheet that kind of goes over the materials. You'll see the roof, the siding, the trim color, sort of explaining what the building will look like. And then on the very second to last page, you'll see the location of where they had in mind putting the storage building.
Does it go down that far? Okay.
If you will state your name and address for the record, please.
Zoe Taylor, and I guess would my address just be the 611 West Noble Street?
I believe it's your home address, correct?
Home address
Mhm.
is 120 Goldsboro Street South in Wilson, North Carolina.
Welcome. All right, you may go ahead.
We're just looking to get the building in the back just for storage. With our numbers increasing, we're just trying to clean up the center itself. So it'd be like holiday decorations, a grill, gardening tools, things like that. So just general storage.
And what is the shed, what is the material that is gonna be used to make, for the shed?
I believe it's just like regular wood with like siding, but I know our building is brick, so, I know we might need to revamp that if y'all want it to match, but,
Is it a prefabricated shed?
yeah, we are just gonna have it delivered already assembled and everything.
And right now you're looking at doing, do you have a picture of what the building will look like?
No, not an actual picture. We just have the quote that was on page 37.
On the description, it says that the roof is black metal roof. What is the current roofing of the Harrison?
I believe it's a blue metal roof.
Now, I know, that there have been, appropriations from our state legislature, to help make improvements to Harrison Gymnasium, just the Richard B. Harrison campus in general. Have you talked with, the town as far as making some improvements to the active aging center specifically for increasing storage?
Just this, that's all.
So you've talked to them about putting a storage shed on?
We spoke briefly about it.
Yep.
Their
in this position. Maybe 6 months
Well,
almost.
welcome.
So,
It's a good thing. Like, she continued to ask me, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
That's awesome.
It's all improvements to the center.
yeah, and this is my first time dealing with anything like that, so
Thank you for all your work to improve and
thanks
advance
for your
accuracy.
guidance. This,
Yeah, we appreciate you and Adrian and all the
oh
others.
yeah, she's killing it.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Ms. Taylor?
Is it too late to make changes to this particular shed?
Oh no, we haven't moved forward with anything
Awesome.
yet, since we had to go through the approval and everything, so we just kinda got a quote to see where we were at budget-wise, so.
Point of clarification. Are you gonna, is it, I'm sorry I'm not hearing well this afternoon, but back in the back of the center where the trash cans and things are, is that where you're proposing to put the storage?
Yes, so the dumpster is on the side, of the gym, and the shed building would be on the other side, closer to the alumni building in the back.
Sounds like a winner.
So if y'all like it, we don't know where part of it is at yet.
Mhm.
Like, it would be good.
Mhm.
But if you would like to take it,
Mhm.
like, that, stay.
Okay.
But,
Mhm. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Anything else for Ms. Taylor or Chief? Do I have a motion to close the quasi judicial hearing along with accepting all the testimonies as presented?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Florence, second by Ms. Jeanette. All those in favor? Aye. And then discussion. Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
We should probably definitely table.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if the town is willing to partner and, you know, help bring that in, I think it'll be good. I mean,
Give you a little more information where part of the recreation grant. And, I think it's just, yeah, I think we talked about.
a little bit.
But, if my basic whole property, soccer complex, some parking, some lighting, some sidewalks, town gardens, we could get down right there. And so, guys, we need to get some state appropriations for other facilities in the gym.
Mhm.
And what we're trying to do is leverage that money against the grant, so make that 700 some odd thousand turn into 50. So they can grow up and make it exponential. But, you know, if we would be turned down, we still have our match that we could use. The entire project. But, yeah.
Sure.
Anyway,
And I think also, you know, we say the back of the building, but there's really not a back of Harrison, you know, you've got street side all the way around, so, you know, beautifying the back side of that building, I still think is important,
Absolutely.
so. Okay, so do I have a motion to, we make a motion to table, right? Okay, motion to table, the certificate of appropriateness for 611 West Oak Street.
A second.
Motion by Ms. Jeanette and second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. All right. All right, we're moving into appearance business items, which we do not have anything underneath. Just we've got some homework to look over our maps as well as the staff level approvals. We do not have any reason for a closed session today, so I will need a motion to adjourn.
just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Colin Harrison.
Mhm.
Good news today.
It's exciting.
Road schedule probably in August. Set up.
This one's-
They do right now, Thursday and everywhere. The
That's right. That's awesome. Yes, sir. All right. Motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
You got the motion?
I got the
Jeanette?
motion.
Excellent. Blaise, you got the second?
No,
No.
You're not ready to go?
no,
And what else you want to talk about?
no.
She
Nothing?
just wanna look at
You
you.
just want to hang out?
I second.
All right, so we got a motion by Ms. Jeanette and a second by Ms. Florence. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?